Good morning. Hello, YouTube friends. I know I haven't made a video in a while. I'm mostly concentrating on getting my blog up every day. And obviously it's winter time, so there's not a lot going on in the garden. I started some pruning yesterday of the little fig trees in back, and a couple of the Rosa Canina. Today I hope to get out, maybe today, to get out and get the fig trees done, and maybe some of these black currants. I ordered my soil yesterday, so I'm excited. Well, I should get it next week, barring any any weather stuff. Apparently we may be getting some more. There's a possibility of some snow this weekend. I'm happy that this month has actually been cool, cold, like it should be. I'm happy to have gotten a little bit of snow, even though it hasn't been a lot. And I keep planning the garden in my head. The beds are pretty good. There's a couple that I still might need to level out. So it's actually good that they've been empty this long, so that the dirt under the edges can sort of settle, or the soil, or everything that's underneath there. And I can prop up like I did with this one right here. I propped it up with some more of the wood chips, and I still have a lot of wood chips, which is good because there are other areas that I can use them, although I'm not quite finished with this area. But everything's having a nice sleep right now. But I will show you what I've got going on inside. I've got my little grow light here, and I've got peppers and tomatoes, and I don't know if you can see some of the little tomatoes in there are starting to come up. Peppers and eggplants will follow. I've had the heat mat on underneath. This is the first time I'm actually using the light because these tomatoes have emerged and I want to start giving them light right away. And I got some more. I got some of these pots to use for some other plants, and I want to get in some dill and some parsley, and I have some old angelica seeds that were in my freezer for a while, but I don't think I want to put those with the heat pad or with the light inside, because they usually sprout when it's a little cooler, so I don't want to make it too warm for them. So I just may put them on a windowsill, or I have a little like mini greenhouse set up I might put outside and get those started. And what else is going on? Not a whole lot else. I gotta get my tea here. It is it's about 8:17. I've actually been able to get myself up earlier a few times recently. Well, more and more, and I feel better when I get up earlier. I guess this is just sort of a general check-in video. I have stopped taking honey in my tea and only use a little bit of the organic half and half. After I read Robert Lustig's book Metabolical, which, according to him and according to the actual science, the worst thing for our bodies and minds is processed food. So a lot of, like any kind of processed food that has all sorts of weird stuff in it. But in addition to that, even like whole wheat flour, he says is not great, but you can have some of it. But I've cut back my any kind of flour consumption quite a lot, and I eat whole grains more often, and sweet potatoes and potatoes and that sort of thing. But in any case, since I have my tea, Usually in the mornings before I eat anything else, I don't want that hit of honey that goes straight to the liver. And apparently the body processes fructose, which comes from even fresh pressed juices and things like that. If you don't have any fiber with them at the same time, the liver sees fructose exactly the same way as it sees alcohol, which is funny. I think what I'm going to do is put you on a tripod here for a second. Let's see if this works. Here, turn my chair around here. You can look at my nice new cabinet with my books on it. I'm so happy. I finished my Taschen book from their, what's it called? It is called their Library of Esoterica. They have one on tarot, one on astrology, and one on witchcraft. And so I follow Pam Grossman on social media. She's a writer who writes a lot about esoteric subjects and witchcraft, and she's got a podcast called The Witch Wave, which is really interesting. Anyway, I first saw about this book when she had posted she was going to be writing the foreword, and she has written a lot of the essays in it too. But it's just a really great book with all kinds of artwork and just like old artwork from the 1500s and 1600s and even some from the 1100s, I think, and then also more contemporary artwork. And it's just, it's an encyclopedic tome on witchcraft very broadly. And yeah, so it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book. So I finished this one, and I like to put it up here on my shelf because it's such a lovely book. And what am I reading now? I am reading another book that my daughter got me for Christmas called Braiding Sweetgrass, which is, it's written by a Native woman, Native American woman, who's also a botanist. And it says, Indigenous Wisdom, Scientific Knowledge, and the Teachings of Plants. And so far, I've been really enjoying that one. I have a book to read for our book club now that I already started, which is Neil Gaiman's The Ocean at the End of the Lane, which I'm enjoying. And what else do I have to read? What else am I reading these days? Well, oh yes, I got a book on, it's sort of on the arts and crafts movement in Poland, which took place at the same time as like William Morris in England, and that's pretty interesting too. It came from an exhibit that was at the William Morris Museum in, is it in the UK? So that's good too. So I'm definitely getting a lot of reading done, and I need to start making my own artwork again. But I've been working on the house, and I've been working on the garden, and I have just been, you know, trying to stay stable during this winter, which has been really interesting. I've been doing pretty well. I've actually been on an SSRI called escitalopram, which has helped tremendously with just kind of mellowing out my anxiety. It's not that I still feel my triggers, I still feel my emotions, but I am able to handle them better, which has been really helpful because I got through all my health diagnostics, mammograms, and colonoscopy, and all of that which I have a tremendous amount of anxiety about. And so I got through all of that in the fall. And at some point I would like to taper off of it, but for right now I have mitigated any physical side effects that I had had, or at least they're not really bothering me. And I just, like when I had my physical and they did the blood work and they checked, you know, the levels of everything. Actually, I did see that my liver function is better, is much better since I cut out the sugars. I do have a, you know, a couple of cocktails on a day or two over the weekends, but you know, my desserts now are a piece of fruit or some dates and walnuts, and every once in a while I'll have something else. I think it's important not to be rigid either, because that creates sort of an unhealthy mindset, and just bless the food when I have it and be appreciative of it. And yeah, and I've kind of gotten back into my cooking, which I really love, and I'm excited about growing things this spring. It's winter right now and I'm not really growing anything. And then I don't know when I'll get back out to see family in California. Maybe the spring. I don't know. There's still too much going on, and I don't really want to be traveling and picking stuff up and passing it on to people. I mean, I myself, I've gotten my vaccinations and I've gotten the booster, and you know, I wear a mask still. I'm very cognizant of not, you know, getting out in big groups and things like that. So I honestly feel pretty safe, but going through multiple airports, it's always kind of questionable. So that's all good. And what else is going on right now? You know, just, it's winter, and it feels, I was noticing yesterday, I wrote on my blog about it, that, you know, there is this sense that, oh yeah, I kind of want to start doing stuff. And clearly I'm doing my seed starts and I'm kind of preparing the garden, but it's still winter, and I do still am in the imagination stage and like to stay inside and warm and nourished and all of that. So it's a funny time where I'm thinking about all these things I want to do, and yet, but you know what? It's still time to rest. The body still needs to rest because there's not that light, not that much light yet. I guess that's about it. Maybe one of these days, and I say this all the time, I'll have a more interesting video for you. But this is just sort of a check-in. Once I start getting my soil in the planters and getting that all set up, maybe I'll start some greens early and do like little poly tents over some of the tunnels. But right now it's not that interesting. But there are bulbs coming up. So as soon as there are bulbs blooming, I'll show you. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe and staying healthy and staying balanced and connected to your surroundings and community and all of that, because that's what we need. All right, bye.